It was well past midnight when Aarohi finally reached the station. The kind of night when even the stray dogs choose to stay hidden. She stood alone on the cold, cracked platform, her bag clutched tightly in one hand, eyes scanning the dim surroundings for any sign of life. Or perhaps a sliver of reassurance. The train she usually took, the one at 10:30, was long gone. She cursed under her breath, delayed by an unplanned overtime request. She had spent the last hour in auto rides and empty roads, only to miss her ride home. A chill breeze cut through the summer air, too cold, too sudden. She wrapped her scarf around tighter, looking up at the tube light above her, only to find it flickering, harder now, then swinging gently, like something had just passed beneath it. Suddenly, a deep voice broke the silence behind her. "What are you doing here?" She turned around with a start. An old man was standing right beside her. She hadn't heard any footsteps, hadn't seen him approach. He was just there. Fear spiked in her chest. She took a step back. "I don't have any money," she blurted. "Leave me alone." The old man frowned, eyes narrowing. "You foolish girl," he muttered, his voice strained but heavy. "You have no idea what this night is. Go back. Go home. This is not a night to be out. Not here. Not now." She dismissed him as a lunatic and turned away. A little later, she spotted a cleaning staff, laying out a sheet on a bench to sleep, and ran over to him. "Excuse me, when does the last train leave? I missed the 10:31. The man blinked with sleepy eyes. "Yeah, there's one at 1:30. She checked the digital clock above the station wall. It was 1:25 a.m. She felt relieved, the moment she looked back down. Her eyes caught the old man again, still watching her from far, unblinking. Then came the whistle. Loud horn echoed throughout the empty station. Her train had arrived. The coaches slid in slowly. Empty. Too empty. She climbed aboard and walked through the aisle. Not a soul in sight. Seats all vacant, curtains unmoving, lights dull. She picked a window seat and rested her head, closed her eyes. The soft wind from the open window felt soothing, cooler than it should have been. She drifted into sleep. Then came whispers, faint, distant, layered voices, like a hushed chorus, as if there were people sitting right next to her. She turned in her seat. There is no one around her. The coach was still empty, but the whispers were closer, curious and unsettled. She rose and began walking towards the sound. Each coach door had a small wash basin near it, with a mirror mounted above, angled perfectly so that standing in front of it, you could see the reflection of the entire coach behind you. She kept moving forward, seat by seat. The whispers grew louder, but there was no one, finally. At the end of the coach, she stopped, turned to head back, and froze. In the mirror, all the seats she had just passed were now filled. Shadowy figures, dozens of them. Some in old-fashioned clothes, some with no faces, others with bloodied bruises, stitched wounds, staring blankly at her. She spun around. Nothing. The seats were still empty. Confused and scared, she looked back at the mirror. The figures were now standing, and they were walking towards her. Her breath quickened. Her heart throbbed. She stumbled backward, crouched near the wash basin, covered her ears and began to cry. The whispers turned into shrill cries, wails of agony and pain. Then suddenly a calm voice cut through the noise. "They can't touch you. Not tonight." She looked up. The old man was there, standing by the door, as if he had always been there. He grabbed her arm and without a word, pulled her and leapt out of the moving train. Aarohi jolted awake, gasping for breath, her body drenched in sweat. She was in the same seat, same train, but the sky outside had turned blue. It was morning. She turned. The old man sat across from her, watching. But now he didn't seem scary. Just tired, like someone carrying a burden far too long. She whispered, "What were they?" "Remnants," he replied. "Souls who boarded the wrong train on the wrong night." Her voice trembled. "Why was I there?" He looked out the window, then back at her. "Because fate bends sometimes. It tests those who don't listen. and saves those who still believe they can make it home. He smiled faintly. I walk this train every year, keeping the living away from the dead. All of a sudden, a blinding light exploded before her eyes, a burst of white so intense it swallowed the entire coach. She raised her arms to shield herself, but it was everywhere, flooding the aisles, filling the air, blurring the faces in the mirror. And then, she felt it, as if the world around her was collapsing. Like every sound, every shadow, every breath was being pulled into a vacuum. A deafening silence gripped the space. The train began to twist, stretch, and narrow, as if it was being sucked into a dark, invisible tunnel. And in a single, silent whoop, everything vanished. She blinked, and found herself in her bed. Morning sunlight filtered softly through the curtains, the kind of warm light that usually brings comfort. But this time, it felt hollow. She sat up slowly, her limbs heavy, like she'd just returned from someplace far, far away. Her heart still pounded faintly, as though trying to remind her it wasn't over. Everything looked normal. Too normal. No signs of her journey. No sounds. Just stillness. Maybe it was just a dream, she whispered to herself, not fully convinced. A bad dream. She rose to her feet, each step feeling strangely disconnected from reality. She walked to the bathroom, splashed cold water on her face, and lingered there for a moment, letting the water drip down her skin like she was trying to wash off something invisible. Then she looked into the mirror. At first, all she saw was herself. Her tired eyes, her reflection staring back, haunted but alone. Then something shifted, a flicker in the glass, a ripple in the air, and for a moment, she saw them, faint but unmistakable. The same shadows, the same passengers, sitting silently, unmoving, watching her, staring, waiting. She thought it was over, that waking up meant escape. But some doors, once opened, never truly close. What she saw was only the beginning. The shadows haven't left. And next time, they might not just stare. Train of Shadows, Part 2, coming soon.